Hey guys, Drifter here. We're doing some more long and short form content experiments today. So I sat down to do the daily news videos that I do on Twitter, and all of my stories ended up being about social media. A lot about TikTok, a lot about Twitter, but also about YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It was very, very busy about social media today, and it actually had a real, consistent theme. So I thought, you know what? Let's combine this into one YouTube news video and just kind of see how it does. This article from CNN Business explains the #1 problem with the creator economy right now. The article title by Claire Duffy is "They Built Their Business on Instagram, Then the Platform Changed." And it talks about a woman who lost her construction job and started selling vintage furniture and housewares on Instagram. She quickly built up 6,000 followers, a small business, launched a second one to resell clothing, and even though it's not like a super mega account, she was still making a living and happy with it until all of a sudden, for no particular reason, her posts started reaching no one, and she couldn't advertise and she couldn't sell on social media. And it's mostly complaining about Instagram moving away from images and going toward the TikTok style reels and some of the changes they've done with their algorithm. But this is really kind of the problem. I think this is the person they're talking about. This is kind of the problem with the creator economy, is that you can be very enterprising, very successful. You can create a very unique business or brand or entertainment piece, and you choose to release it or run it under somebody else's platform. And you would do that because the tools are there, it's free or cheap or easy. You don't have to buy servers or do anything really complicated. You don't have to host anything, you don't have to build anything, and it's just instant free advertisement, right? But then one day, any person from all the way down to engineering up to the executive level on their whim can change something about algorithms that are so massive human brains don't understand them, and your business, which has been going fine for years, suddenly turns off and dries up and is no more. I've experienced this about 2 or 3 times. It's really brutal to get over. It's really hard to find the next algorithm niche. And honestly, individuals and probably human brains in general are not really geared to think this way. This poor woman probably thought her business was bad, or she just wasn't good at it, or I don't know what happened, or anything. And not everybody's analytical enough to study the algorithm to find out what it's currently rewarding. So it can be really, really, really brutal in the creator economy when everything that you do can be turned off instantly on the whim of others. And that's pretty much how all creators live. Today's news videos are going to be all about social media with increasing seriousness as we go. There's an article on Insider. It says top Wall Street analysts compare TikTok to crack cocaine, saying growing domination of short form video may ruin the internet. And we got a few fun facts here. TikTok is probably the most successful video platform. You know, Instagram emulated it. Now Reels are about 25% on Instagram. YouTube Shorts are going. But it's sort of buried in the details down here. If you can see it, this is the one. Monetizing short video poses a problem for platforms, creators, and advertisers. This has been true since about 2008 or 9 when machinima.com was a thing, and people would make very, very short videos to get views. And they would pay out by views, but the ads weren't worth what they were paying out. And the same is true of putting ads on YouTube Shorts. The same is true of putting ads on TikTok or Reels. It's that advertisers do not want to put ads on, in, or around a platform where the content is just a few seconds long and where the ads are going to break it all up. Now, the problem with this is, and speaking of ads, they're kind of everywhere on this page. I'm just trying to keep the TikTok logo big here, is that if you can't have an ad-supported platform, then what supports it? In the case of TikTok, TikTok doesn't really have a profit motive. I genuinely believe that TikTok is at least partially, if not wholly, run by the Communist Party of China as a very, very long-term ploy to get information from Americans and from the Western world in general, personal data, private data, embarrassing data, blackmail data. You'd be astonished at the amount of data that it just pulls in, and they don't really care if it makes money or not. Now, a company like Instagram or YouTube does have to care if their platform makes money. It's kind of like when Riot Games came out in one of the first free-to-play games and just blew everybody away with League of Legends, and everybody with these paid games were like, what's going on here? We can't do that. That's giving money away. It's like the same thing, except TikTok doesn't need money. So all they have to do is get data, but all of these other companies do have to deliver ads because that's what their business model requires of them, and you can't put ads on short form content. So they're talking about it ruining the internet and making it worse. And even though I'm very active on TikTok, I actually just hit 1,000 subscribers there if you want to check it out. And now every other business is forced to either go less profitable, which is bad for them in the long run, or run the platform in a way where the viewers don't like, and people are going to go where they're going to go. So TikTok does pose a problem, and I don't know if it's going to kill the internet. I don't know if short form is going to be the end of all the YouTube videos, and I couldn't tell you where the future is going, but I would wager that TikTok and all of the other short form content sites are probably going to dominate it. The rumor that Twitch would no longer be exclusive was real, and as of now, Twitch will now let partners, verified Twitch partners, stream on YouTube, Facebook, and a variety of other platforms, with the only limit being to multicasting. And I think that is fantastic. That's beautiful. As a Twitch partner who is kind of wanting to experiment and do other things, I think this is very helpful for the overall community. And I think it's helpful for creators because that means they don't have to focus on one platform, which you would think Twitch would want all the focus on their platform, and that's usually how the algorithms are designed. But some creators can blow up on TikTok or YouTube and do really well elsewhere and pull people into Twitch. And some of the big Twitch creators will push people out to other platforms, and that's just kind of how it should be. This is just one that makes me happy. I almost certainly will be streaming on YouTube at some point in the future, almost certainly here on Twitter as well, and maybe a few other places. Not with the goal of making money. I think like 95% of my streams are still going to be on Twitch. It's just that every now and then some of the other sites do something better or have other unique features that are better for that particular type of content you're making that day. So I am really happy about this. Thank you, Twitch, for making us all non-exclusive. A follow-up to a social media story from a few days ago about Kiwi Farms, which is a known troll group, have supposedly been doxing and swatting a Twitch streamer by the name of Keffals. And before we jump into the meat of this article, I did this video a few days ago and had a number of people on Twitter link me to Keffals' hot takes and bad takes and spicy opinions and things like that and just say, well, they deserve it. I don't really think that people deserve to have a SWAT team come busting down their door, guns ablazing, ready to take out terrorists because they talk trash online, because they have bad opinions. You can have bad opinions, and your bad opinions can make you a bad person, very much so, yes, but I don't believe we need to be trying to murder people over said bad opinions. So for the water wheel brains out there that told me that she totally deserved it for whatever reason, I'm going to downgrade you to bird bath brains. Okay, so, but the real article here today is about pressure from the online community trying to get Cloudflare, the hosting service, to drop Kiwi Farms, the troll group. And it's kind of a thing that's happened a number of times, like Cloudflare or GoDaddy or even Amazon and some of the big hosting services will not host hateful content. They wouldn't host InfoWars, they wouldn't host clan websites, they wouldn't host a lot of like really gnarly things like 4chan, I think it's 8chan now. But what happens when you get delisted from everything? What happens when nobody can host you? It used to be you just get a sketchy server somewhere in Russia or China that would be slow but would still work, but those companies are a little bit more restricted these days thanks to some worsening international relations. So in the United States, if you can't find anybody to host you, is there any real alternative other than just buying a server farm yourself? You talk about people getting canceled, you talk about people getting banned or demonetized or whatever. There is no harsher ban from the internet than not being able to find somebody to host your content. And for those of you that are more tech savvy than I, is it even possible, like with a sane budget, to buy a couple of home computers and host your own website, maybe really poorly? Like, is that a thing? Or when you get dropped from all US hosts, are you just kind of like out of luck? I'm sure that Elon Musk is happy today because there's a whistleblower at Twitter accusing the company of massive cybersecurity negligence. And this is kind of a big deal because a former head of security at Twitter alleged that the company misled regulators about its cybersecurity defenses, privacy protections, and ability to deter and root out fake accounts. This whistleblower has filed a complaint with US officials, so it's a very, very real thing. And this is something that Elon's been talking about for a while because he wanted to back out of this $44 billion buyout of Twitter. And his number one reason that he's going to fight for in court is the accusation that there are too many bots on the platform, that the platform is mostly bots. So this guy has hired a lawyer to represent him. They're called Whistleblower Aid. Twitter said that they fired him for a variety of reasons: poor leadership, inadequate security systems, and things like that. He's saying that their security is actually really, really lax, that it's pretty easy to hack Twitter. He's saying that they put minimal effort into removing bots and spam. And there's a very interesting one in here. Here's some more fun ones. Twitter has deliberate ignorance about bots, which I kind of believe almost every social media platform's like that. But here's the spicy one. The complaint also said Twitter was heavily reliant on funding by Chinese entities, and that there were concerns within Twitter that the company was providing information to those entities that would enable them to learn to identify sensitive information of Chinese users who secretly use Twitter, which is officially banned in China. So they're kind of like narking out people who tweet from China. And if it's heavily funded by Chinese entities, that means it's going to be kind of like TikTok and some other things, and that a lot of your personal data is going to be going back to China. So this is a huge, huge deal for Twitter. Twitter is saying, they're fighting Elon Musk over almost $44 billion over bots. And their former head of security comes out and files a whistleblower complaint saying, yeah, bro, it's worse than you thought. Ouch, 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 ouch. Good day for Elon, bad day for Twitter. Well, guys, that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. I do kind of wish I could go more in depth into some of these articles. The nature of short form requires very brief explanations and kind of moving on to satisfy that algorithm. But I'm curious to know what you think about this format. It is something that I can do every day. It's something I can manage. It's something that I think I'm okay at. I've got the announcer voice sort of thing down pat. So announcer, you shouldn't be announcing the news. You broadcast. It's a broadcaster voice. Totally different thing. But I do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Oh, and don't forget to give me your feedback. Critical, good, bad, and ugly. Drifter out.